Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic if you didn't happen to be here. Perhaps it's time to meet your soul.
Dear Aquarius, come closer. Let us step away from the noise of this world and speak of the beautiful, strange, and often lonely truth of your soul. Have you ever felt like a traveler in a foreign land, even when you are in the place you were born? Have you ever felt that you are speaking a language that others have not yet learned to hear? As if you are living in a slightly different timeline, haunted and inspired by the echo of a future that only you can see. If you have felt this quiet alienation, this sense of being a visitor here, know that you are not imagining it. You are not broken, and you are not wrong. It is because when the divine architect was designing the souls that would inhabit this era, a unique and daring experiment was conceived. While other souls were woven from the familiar threads of the past and the present, yours was forged from the raw, shimmering material of the future. The architect did not create you like the others. You were not poured from a common mold. You were a blueprint, downloaded directly from a time that does not yet exist. You arrived in this world with a spiritual software 5 updates ahead of the current century, and you have been trying to run that advanced program on outdated hardware ever since. Today, we will not just list your eccentricities. We will journey into the sacred purpose behind your design. We will uncover why your mind works the way it does, why your heart loves in its own unique fashion, and why you are destined to be misunderstood. This journey is a validation of your very essence. If you have ever felt like an outsider looking in, I want you to anchor your sacred purpose with me now. Go to the comments and declare this profound truth. I am a blueprint for the future. Let us affirm your mission together. And please, if these words resonate with your soul, subscribe and join our family so we may continue this journey of discovery. Now, let us explore the divine architecture of your spirit. The first principle of your design, the mind of a time traveler. Let us first address the beautiful and chaotic miracle that is your mind. While others think in linear, logical progressions, your thoughts operate like a quantum computer, processing 1,000 different timelines at once. Your mind is not a library. It is a live broadcast receiving signals from the future. It bounces from the ethics of artificial intelligence to the social structure of ant colonies to a revolutionary new way to structure society, all in the space of a single minute. This is not a flaw. It is your primary function. The divine architect gave you this mental operating system not to solve today's problems, but to begin planting the seeds for the solutions to tomorrow's. You do not just think outside the box. You are here to shatter the box, reveal that it was an illusion all along, and design a new, more expansive shape for consciousness itself. This is why you are a walking paradox, a brilliant innovator who can also get lost in a spiral of seemingly random thoughts. You are a change agent, a visionary, a walking, breathing portal to what is possible. But for those around you, trying to keep up with your mental leaps can be exhausting. They are listening to a single instrument while you are hearing the entire symphony of what is to come. This is the source of your first and most profound sense of isolation. You are trying to describe the color of a future sunrise to people who have only ever known the gray of their current dawn. Do not fault them for their confusion, and do not fault yourself for your complexity. You are a time traveler, and your mind is your vessel. It is not meant to be easily understood. It is meant to be a catalyst. The second principle, love from a higher altitude. Now, let us speak of your heart. You are often accused of being emotionally distant, detached, or even unavailable. And from a certain perspective, this is true. But it is not because you lack the capacity for love. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Your capacity for love is so vast, so immense, that it cannot be contained within the narrow confines of individual, possessive relationships. The architect designed your heart to love humanity itself, all of it. The entire grand, flawed, beautiful, and frustrating project of human evolution. You love the blueprint. You love the potential. Your heart operates from a higher altitude from which you can see the interconnectedness of all things. You are the great humanitarian, the social justice warrior, the one who feels a genuine ache for the suffering of people on the other side of the world. But this grand, systemic love comes at a cost. It requires a certain level of emotional detachment from the messy, often illogical dramas of individual lives. You need, as you know, 3 business days to recover from a single, emotionally charged phone call. Not because you do not care, but because the raw, unfiltered emotional data of one person's crisis can overwhelm your system, which is designed to process the data of the collective. Your love is not expressed in effusive, constant declarations. You will not say, "I love you" 47 times a day, but you will show your love by fixing someone's Wi-Fi so they can connect with the world. You will send them an obscure article about their niche interest, proving you truly listen. You will defend their reputation in a heated online debate with a stranger because you are fiercely loyal to the truth of their soul. You will fight for their right to be free, even if you forget to ask them how their day was. Your love is not a performance, it is a service. It is a cool, clear, and steady stream, not a dramatic, crashing wave. And it is delivered in its own unique and sometimes glitchy packaging. The third principle, rebellion as a sacred duty. The divine architect blessed you, Aquarius, with an almost complete lack of concern for what is considered normal. You did not come here to fit in. You came here to gently, and sometimes not so gently, dismantle the very idea of fitting in. Your weirdness is not an affectation. It is a sacred form of protest. You will show up to a formal event in a thrifted cape, not to get attention, but because the dress code feels like an arbitrary and pointless restriction on your self-expression. You will start a debate about ethical space colonization at a coffee morning, not to be contrarian, but because you genuinely believe it is a more interesting and important topic than celebrity gossip. You do not rebel for the sake of rebellion. You rebel because tradition, for its own sake, bores you to your very soul. You see rules not as rigid laws, but as optional suggestions, many of which are long past their expiration date. Your entire existence is a quiet revolution against the outdated systems, social, political, and spiritual, that hold humanity back. You are here to question everything, to challenge the status quo, and to offer a glimpse of a different way of being. Your unapologetic authenticity is not selfishness. It is a beacon for every other soul who feels trapped by the expectations of the world. You are giving them permission to be free, simply by being yourself. The fourth principle, the lone wolf at the heart of the pack. Here lies one of your most beautiful contradictions. You love people, but you love them best from a safe and respectful distance. You are the glue that holds communities together, the visionary who fights for collective progress, and also the one who will disappear for 6 days without a word because you needed to unplug and recharge your own system. The architect gave you this paradoxical energy for a reason. You are designed to be the architect of the community, not just another member in it. To design a better system, one must be able to see it from the outside. You must remain slightly detached to maintain your clarity and your objective perspective. If you become too enmeshed in the day-to-day social dynamics, you risk losing sight of the bigger picture. This is why you are both a social activist and a hermit who hates small talk. You will attend the party, circulate, gather data, observe the dynamics, and then vanish before the meaningless conversations begin. You are a friend who cares with a profound depth, but who will absolutely not engage in a 2-hour FaceTime call unless there is a clear and logical purpose. You need your space. You need your solitude. It is in that quiet space that you can process the information you have gathered from the collective and begin to draw the blueprints for a better way. The fifth principle, the burden and gift of being misunderstood. When your creation was complete, the divine architect put down the blueprint, looked out across the multiverse, and whispered, "They will not be understood." And that is exactly the point. This, my dear Aquarius, is the key to your entire existence. You were designed to be misunderstood. Your journey is not one of seeking validation or acceptance from the world as it is. Your journey is about having the courage to remain true to your own unique vision, even in the face of confusion, ridicule, or rejection. Being misunderstood is the price you pay for carrying the future within you. It is the sacred burden that forges your incredible independence and your unwavering self-reliance. Because you could not rely on others to validate your reality, you were forced to build an unshakable foundation of trust in your own mind and your own intuition. Because you so often felt like an outsider, you learned to become your own home. Yes, it has been lonely at times. There is a deep, quiet ache that comes from seeing a future that no one else can see, from speaking a truth that no one else is ready to hear. But that loneliness has been your greatest teacher. It has kept you pure. It has kept you from compromising your vision for the sake of fitting in. It has made you the powerful, independent, and revolutionary soul that you are. And now, the world is beginning to catch up. The radical ideas you were pondering a decade ago are now entering mainstream conversation. The social justice issues you were fighting for when it was unpopular are now global movements. The future you have been holding within you is beginning to bleed into the present. And people are starting to turn to you, not with confusion, but with a dawning recognition, saying, "You were right all along." And you, in your quiet, detached way, will simply nod, perhaps offer a quirky, ironic smile, and continue working on the blueprint for the next century, humming a tune that has not yet been released. So you see, dear Aquarius, you are the living paradox. You are the sign of the quiet and sometimes not so quiet revolution. You are brilliant, you are strange, you are stubborn, and you are deeply, soulfully committed to the evolution of this planet. Your purpose is to teach us all to think differently, to feel freely, in our own time, and on our own terms, and to live with radical, unapologetic authenticity. Yes, you might forget our birthday, but you will remember our soul's purpose. You might disappear from the party early, but you will be up all night designing the system that will make a better world for everyone at that party. You are God's beautiful, glitchy, and absolutely essential experiment. You are the proof that the future is not something that happens to us, but something that lives within us. You are the hope, the vision, and the strange, beautiful light of what is to come. Embrace your sacred weirdness. The world needs it now more than ever.